Good morning, all. Welcome to the second day program for our FDP on Teaching Pedagogy by KJRL College, Bhimavaram. This is the forenoon session. The theme is Role of ICT in Professional Development of Teachers by Mrs. Gayatri Dhara, Associate Professor, MCA Department, KJRL College. Over to Gayatri, madam. Ma'am, is it okay?
Thank you, sir. A very good morning to all the participants. Heartily welcome to the second day session of FDP program organizing by the Departments of Electronics Management Studies and Computer Science UG and PG KGRL College Bhimavaram. Today I want to talk to you about the role of ICT in professional development of teachers. Before that, let us recapitulate in summary about Indian higher education system in 2019. India's higher education system is the third largest in the world, that is next to United States and China. It ranked 35th on overall index in 2019. The main governing body at the tertiary level is UGC. It enforces standards and advises the government and helps coordinate between the center and the state. However, the accreditation process will be overseen by the 15 autonomous institutions like NAC, NBA, AICT, etc. India's higher education sector has an increase in the number of universities or university level institutions and colleges, but in the prestigious QS World University Rankings 2020, only the three Indian universities have been included in the top 200 institutes. That is IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, Indian Institute of Science. So let us see some of the issues and challenges in India's higher education sector. The gross enrollment of India in higher education is increased according to All India Survey on Higher Education, but the student to teacher ratio is stable, that is 30 is to 1. There is a requirement of well qualified faculty members, and another issue is infrastructure, outdated curriculum, which are theoretical in nature, accreditation process, and low registrations for research. Let us see what are the recent initiatives taken by the government in higher education. Education quality upgradation and inclusion program. This is a five-year vision plan to improve the quality and accessibility of higher education. And next one is RISE, CFS, CFIs, including central universities like IITs and IIMs, can borrow up to 1 lakh crores to expand their and build new infrastructure. The third initiative is LOCF, which aims to specify the graduates about learning outcome based curriculum framework. The regulatory framework of higher education in India is like this, means policy making will be taken care by Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Human Resource and Development, like this. So there is a quality of faculty members, and the quality of faculty members will only decide the quality of the students and thereby the next generation manpower. So let us understand what is meant by pedagogy. In order to be a good facilitator to our students, we need to improve our teaching pedagogy. First of all, let us revise what is meant by teaching pedagogy. It is a method and practice of teaching. Means we should be able to convey knowledge and skills to our students in such a way that the students can understand, remember, and apply. It can also be understood as an approach to teaching. So, our teaching should show impact on the students to fulfill the 21st century skills. First of all, identify what are the four categories of 21st century skills. The ways of thinking should be creative, and it should be critical thinking, problem solving techniques, like that the way of thinking should be, and ways of working should be in collaborative. Skills for living in the world should be citizenship, life and career, personal and social responsibility. Tools for working in 21st century is ICT. So why to use effective pedagogy? Effective pedagogy focuses on developing higher order thinking and metacognition. So as per Bloom's technology, remembering, understanding and applying are lower order thinking skills. Analyzing, evaluating, creating are considered as higher order thinking skills. So our teaching pedagogy should equip students with the above discussed characteristics and skills which help them to live in this ever-changing technological world. Next, let us see what are the different types of teaching methods. The first one is teacher-centered methods. Second is learner-centered. Let us first discuss about the first two approaches. In terms of element, knowledge as an element, teacher-centered approach is transmitted in the form of instruction, whereas student-centered, the knowledge will be constructed by the students itself. Student participation will be active in student-centered approach. However, it is passive most of the time in teacher-centered approach. Learners will be the recipients of knowledge in teacher-centered approach, and teacher is the plays a role of authority in teacher-centered approach, whereas in student-centered approach, she or he will be like a facilitator. Academic culture will be competitive, individualistic in teacher-centered approach, and it is collaborative in terms of student-centered approach. The main emphasis of student in teacher-centered approach is learning correct answers, whereas the emphasis of students in student-centered approach is developing deeper understanding about the subject. The next one is content-based learning. In content-based learning, the information and skills to be taught are regarded as very important. A lot of emphasis is laid on clarity and carefully analysis about the content. The next approach is interactive approach. In this, the teachers and learners will actively involve in learning process. The student to student interaction is possible. Use of audio, visual and hands-on demonstrations are possible in interactive approach of learning. So as a teacher, we want to employ a method that is beneficial for all our students, and we want them to enjoy the learning process and classroom environment. Now let us know about different types of methodologies which we can adopt in our classroom. All the methods are classified under any one of the category which are discussed above. One of the most exciting advancements in modern classroom is flipped classroom. In flipped classroom, lecture materials will be provided to the students and those videos to be viewed at home or outside of the class, so that the students prepares for the lesson outside the classroom and comes to the class with content. In the classroom, the student plays active role and he participates in any practical classes. The teacher guides and consolidate the concepts in the classroom as she will be free in the class. How to adopt flipped classroom? The first step is to decide which technology you will use to service your lectures digitally. Means you need to identify one technology to publish your videos. The second step is make and publish videos. Third step is make your students accountable for watching your videos. Advantages in flipped classroom are students can prepare for class whenever they want and take any length of time to finish the class. The second advantage is reuse of lectures. And third one is this type of approach will create transparency for parents. Means what the teacher is teaching can be known to the parents. Flipped classroom disadvantages are technology issues. This type of change may take time. Flipped classroom requires a lot of self-discipline for students. So, as the students may not learn at same speed, all the students may not learn at same speed. So, if we adopt this type of approach in the classroom, it may be beneficial for the students. The main differences are quoted in this slide. Flipped versus traditional approach. You can see in class time, in traditional approach, we will give lectures and students will gain knowledge. Exercises and quizzes will be done outside the class. Whereas in flipped approach, you can see on right side, the screencasts will be outside the class time and he gains the knowledge outside the class. Quizzes he reviews with his knowledge and he will practice exercises, understand and apply knowledge within the class time. The second approach I want to discuss with you is project-based learning approach. A project-based learning approach is a student-centered pedagogy that involves a dynamic classroom approach in which it is believed that students acquire a deeper knowledge through active exploration of real world challenges and problems. For example, let us see what are the steps under project based learning. The first step is to frame a question, drive a question or a challenge, and what the content related to that question we need to know. And the third question is we will know the content, means the student will gain the knowledge by doing inquiry and innovation. The student to student collaboration will be done via student voice and choice, and feedback and revision will be done in the other steps. Finally, it will be publicly presented to the intended people. The next type of learning is cooperative learning. As all of us know, stronger together. In this methodology, teachers use to group students. Working in groups improves attention, involvement, and acquisition of knowledge. See, first of all, collaboration means a group of 3 to 6 students. Depending upon the class strength, we can make them into groups, and they will discuss on the topics, forms one community, brainstorms, interacts, and they share the ideas. In this type of learning, more attention will be there for the students. We implement this method of learning when they, in order to inculcate collaborative approach. But the final goal is always common and will be achieved if each of the members successfully performs their tasks. The next approach is gamification. It is a very effective approach to make positive change in students' behavior and attitude. Using this approach, we can improve the students' attention towards learning. In this gamification approach, we choose a goal and means what do you want your students to accomplish. That will be your student goal. Second step, divide it into milestones. How can you divide your goal into achievable steps, targets, or milestones they can progress through? And third step, you design your game board, giving some milestones to the students. Fourth step, how will students be represented in your game? Give some avatars or create badges. And for each achievement, recognize his learning achievement in your classroom with badges and motivate or challenge the students to reach to the next level. The next approach is problem-based learning approach. It is a cyclic learning process, means in the first step, the student will identify the problem scenario. In the second step, he will identify the key facts. Third one is brainstorm missing information. Fourth step is self-directed learning. And fifth one is he collects or assimilates the new knowledge. Sixth step, apply the information. And seventh one, analyze the results. The difference between the project-based learning and problem-based learning is, in problem-based learning, the student itself identifies the problem, whereas in project-based learning, the teacher may gives the problem. So with problem-based learning, the skills required are critical thinking skills, and effective collaboration should be there. Versatile communication is required. The next approach is design thinking. This type of approach gives space for innovation to the students. The essence of design thinking is empathize, define, ideate. Fourth step is prototype and test. Let us see in detail. Empathize. Learn about the audience for whom you are designing. Means what are the requirements for the audience you should know. Second step is construct a point of view that is based on user needs. You can define the problem by consulting others of same age group. And third one, ideate, means you get some ideas with creative solutions in order to solve the problem of audience. So for that purpose, after getting an idea, you build a representation of one or more of your ideas and show it to the others. Once the prototype is ready, you return to your original user and testing your ideas for feedback. So overall, design thinking will be a space providing approach for innovation to the students, because he will design a prototype depending upon the present ideas, or combining the both he will create the new one. The last one is in our topic is competency based learning. Here we will give set of strategies to the students to achieve the main goals. Competency means we all know the skills that enable and prove the efficiency of a job. Let us see what is the traditional type of instruction and competency based instruction. In a table format, differences are identified. In terms of structure, traditional instruction is time based, means it might be of 50 minutes or 60 minutes, whereas competency based instruction is learner centered. Teaching mode in traditional type is group learning. Competency based instruction will be individualized. Assessment methods will be summative in traditional instructions. Competency based will be the mastery of the learning and the performance he performed before demonstrations. The traditional approach is faculty paced, whereas competency based approach is self paced. The program completion in traditional approach is when the course is completed and passed. But in competency based instruction, the course is demonstrated when his mastery is proved. So now we have seen what are the different types of teaching methodologies we can adopt in our pedagogy. Let us know how to improve our pedagogy. Strengthen your tech skills, brush up on your existing pedagogy, improve your classroom management, adjust your mindset before going to the class, freshen up your slide presentations, take the first step toward national board certification, and get organized. So these are the ways to improve our pedagogy. Coming to our today's part of ICT, the concept of traditional education has changed radically with the last couple of years. Being physically present in the classroom is not at all the learning option anymore. Nowadays, we have access to a quality education whenever and wherever you want, as long as you have access to internet. We are now entering a new era, the revolution of online education. So many may think online learning can be better or same as classroom experience because of the following reasons. The online learning is flexible and it offers a wider selection of courses. It is accessible from anywhere and it also allows customized learning experience. The only thing is it's more cost effective than traditional education. So there is a need for every academician to have sharp skills in making ICT as teaching pedagogy. Information and communication technology. We all know ICT is the mode of education which includes internet, cell phones, various networks and other communication medium. So that we can, using ICT, we can optimize the delivery of information. So why do we integrate ICT in education? The first reason is it allows effective collaboration. It means it will allow all the members to share their talent and skills, and it also finds the most optimal solution to every problem. It speeds up solutions, means collaboration always speeds up the solutions. The second reason is it allows effective networking. We can know new people through people we know. The third reason is it allows easy sharing of resources. Fourth is effective accessibility to resources. And the next advantage is ubiquitous education. What is meant by ubiquitous education? In this everyday learning environment that is supported by mobile and embedded computers whenever we want. Interaction can be anytime and anywhere. So a student can learn or gain the knowledge anytime and anywhere. Next, last but not least, empowerment in learning. Means one can become strong and confident about the subject by integrating the ICT in education. As we all know, we are disrupted by COVID-19, but businesses, all the citizens, educational institutions, and public administrations are still running because of digital solutions. Millions of people are continuing their work through digital solutions like virtual conferences and classrooms, virtual classrooms, any health applications, etc. A large number of ICT applications and standards are involved in every step of this process. However, ICT too have some advantages and disadvantages. What are the advantages? Let us see first. It enhances e-learning and learning management system. It promotes higher order thinking skills. Teachers can teach better with images, videos, and graphics while delivering the lessons. ICT use motivates learning. ICT also helps teachers to access with institutions and universities. It also helps in effective use of ICT software and hardware for teaching learning process. The disadvantages are risk of cyber attacks and hacks, a risk to the traditional book and handwriting methods, misuse of technology, and teachers require a lot of experience to handle ICT tools. So let us see in what ways we can get the e-content for training. The first one is EPG Pathshala. All of us may know it is an initiative of MHRD under the National Mission on Education through ICT being executed by the UGC. Over 70 subjects across all disciplines of social sciences, except fine arts, etc., all mathematical sciences, books, e-books, videos will be there in EPG Pathshala. The second, we will see how to explore the content in EPG Pathshala in few minutes. The next one is e-Adhyayan. Over 700 plus e-books for the postgraduate courses are available under this application. Next, UGC MOOCs, and with the use of Swayam and InflibNet, we can get a lot of content. Whatever you want in any subject, you can get it through InflibNet. The offline access is available in ePathya app. And the next one is Swayam Prabha. It is a group of 32 DTH channels devoted to telecasting high quality educational programs on 24/7 basis using the satellite GSAT 15. Let us see how to explore the content practically. First, I am taking EPG Pathshala. So here you can identify student corner and home. In this, you can go through the subject. See here, you can see various group of subjects and 22,000 plus modules in terms of text or videos are available. Let us explore content under computer science subject. You can click on any subject of your stream. Just click on your subject, on your respective subject, you click on that and you give the paper name. For example, I am giving computers networks, and right from beginning, if you want, you can go through the modules 1, 2, 3 like that. If you want any only particular concept, you can directly go to that module. See here, you can directly get a PDF format of text. You can download it and directly you can use it in your classrooms via some PPT. E-text is also available. Let us explore any other subject. Botany. You can go to plant cell biology and you will get, sometimes there will be a video content also. Self-learning means you will get a video content. You can play it and learn through this means. The next is NPTEL, very useful site. NPTEL, under courses, you select NPTEL courses. Here also all the disciplines are listed and you select your respective discipline. For example, chemistry and biochemistry. On the right side, you will get all the entries regarding chemistry and biochemistry. NPTEL is an integration of all the IITs in India. You can get content specifically from any institute named. By institution basis also you can search. By content type also you can search. Means if you want only text content, you can go for web format. If you want the content type as video, go for content type as video. Here also you can get the PDF directly. You can download it. This lecture might not be updated or maybe removed for practical any updations. We will see under another one. We will see poetry. We'll see some computer science and engineering. Recently I have explored, so might not fail. Oh, all these are new modules, so not at all updated, but surely you can get the content. Data structures and algorithms. You select the course content type as web course. For example, I am searching for nodes operating systems. See, we are getting the module 1 and all the downloads are available in the downloads module. Like this you can search in your respective discipline. That's all about NPTEL. Next is NDL. Many of you may know about National Digital Library of India. Even this site is useful for getting an idea about how to publish research papers. And you can also explore a very good content here. In the similar manner, type any subject you want. You can also select the education level. means higher education or UG or PG, difficulty level, education degree, like that you can select. And here I am getting the search results of operating systems. On the right side you can see the content type, whatever content you want you take. In a similar approach, search your respective subject and make utilize of these resources. The next very important and useful app is Evernote app. We are all face some problems while preparing notes, but using this application you can make it as fast as you can. First of all, go to the site evernote.com and log in it with your existing Gmail ID. You will see a home page like this, and under this home page you take new note. In this new note also we have many different options. If you want to prepare lecture notes, go for lecture notes. Then the user interface will be like this. You simply type what is the topic you are about to create notes, and what is the course. For example, topic will be operating systems definition. Under the course MCA, that one is operating systems. Like this you can fill all the fields, and the date of creation and who are you means your professor name, your name can be written here. And it can be in the format of question and notes format. It also directly saves to your mail. New note. For example, if you don't want any lecture notes, essay outline, you can go for essay outline. You after this lecture you go for essay outline. For example, I am taking weekly planner, means how I have to design my curriculum in a week, means what subject I want to teach in that particular week, I can write it here. You can also check whether we are able to complete, I am able to complete it or not, you can check. Meeting note, number of applications are there. Project plan, very useful one. Project plan, see here you can write what is the summary of your project plan, what are the milestones, major milestones, you can write it here. And in week 1, what is the task assigned and what date, what are the number of tasks you achieved in that particular week, you can easily identify in this. You can also, however, you can also have a meal planner here. What should be the breakfast, lunch, dinner. So if let us look at meeting note, date and time, goal and attendees. Like this you can have a minutes of meeting. So overall, this application will be useful for all the teachers in designing the notes. Again I am repeating, go to evernote.com and log in with your Gmail. Take a new note as lesson plan. Depending upon your need, you take lecture notes or whatever you want, the type, and it will be saved here. For example, I have written one notes previously. Like this you can explore it, the content from here. Like this you can take, all the things will be saved. You can also directly share these notes to your students. You are able to see here share button on right side. You simply click on share, you will get the link and post it to your students via mail. The next only thing is this application is not suitable for adding audio. If you want to add audio to your lessons, then the useful app is EduCreations application. educreations.com also very good application in our teaching. See, by typing educreations.com you will get this page and you sign in with your Gmail account. Under lessons, whatever lessons if you have, you can find them in my lessons. If you want to create a lesson, you go to create new lesson. You might face this problem. You just click on the log button and go to site settings and click on flash player allowed and click on flash player. Generally it will be blocked. You click on allow flash player and just refresh the page. Reload the page. You will get a whiteboard. You can write on it, or else you can record your audio by clicking here. You can record audio. You can directly insert an image from your computer, and similarly you can save the videos in this application. The next application is Keep Notes app, which combines these two applications in one application. It is from Google. Go to keep.google.com and it is very useful in typing the notes. For example, take a note. What we will do, we will write it here. You can also add voice to this. It is a very useful app in your mobiles also. You can add an image. You can also add recording. And while speaking, you will get the notes typed into your application Keep app. You try it in your mobiles. Keep.google.com. It's a simply superb app for typing the notes. Up to now, theoretically, we have seen what are the different sites available for learning. Now we will see what are the ways for lab sessions. So for that purpose, we will go for virtual labs. It is an initiative of Ministry of HRD under the National Mission on Education through ICT. Whenever any institute is lack of infra facilities in labs, you can go through these virtual labs, or even a student can learn better with these virtual labs. The main idea about these virtual labs is to provide remote access to labs in various disciplines of science and engineering. These virtual labs will meet the needs of the students under graduate level and postgraduate level. It is also suitable to research scholars too. Let us go to virtual labs. This is the home page of virtual labs. As you can see, it is an initiative of Ministry of Human Resource and Development. Now you go to your stream related virtual labs. So for example, I am showing you computer science and engineering. If any teacher is not aware of how to use or how to execute a PHP program, it needs lot of installation process. So you can show it to your students via this virtual labs. Just click on explore. For example, I am taking if statement program. We will get the complete program with aim and what is the program, all this procedure you have. For every stream you will have this procedure tab, simulation tab, post test tab, all the pre-test tab, all the tabs will be there. I am going for simulation tab. Means here about if statement in PHP programming language, I have this program. Simply a teacher can click on execute PHP. It will go sentence by sentence, means the process of execution also you can identify. If you don't want this type of line by line execution, simply click on post test. You will get the output. Next, going to home. Post test is useful for writing the exams. Let us see another example in terms of chemistry. Just you type here chemistry, virtual lab chemistry. You search here labs. Depending upon the resources, all the topics are highlighted here. The available resources are all these. You can go to one experiment. You can get the content of each module like this. You can get an information or you can directly go to that experiment. Simulation will be there in each step. How the process is going on, you can show it to your students virtually. It is also providing support information. Acid base chemistry, whatever theme you want and whatever resource you want, you go to that virtual labs. So you can get the content of that lab regarding specifications here. So you should give the concentration of the acid here and click on check. So concentration of acid should be in 0.02 time. You browse it and you can let me know is it helpful to you or not. As it is a chemistry subject, only chemistry people will understand better what should be the concentrations like that. So up to now we have seen the different ICT applications for teachers or students to learn and improve their knowledge. So, as ICT is part of our life, I want to share with you 6 tips for better work life balance, because the technology makes workers accessible around the clock. The workday never seems to end. So, unplug and to work and life at home. The second tip is prioritize your activities. Limit time wasting activities and people. Third tip is share the load. If required, change the way of life. And fourth step is take care of yourself. Exercise, meditate daily, eat healthy food, and take sufficient sleep. And fifth one is work smart. And sixth, I want to share with you is use your vacation time and leave completely behind, work completely behind. So, we all know the quote, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So, I expect few of the people, at least few of the people will involve in the ways in which I shared with you to gain knowledge. Let me conclude this session by sharing one small lesson given by Sri Gaur Gopal Das. It is a lesson from pencil. We can learn a lesson from pencil like the outside of a pencil can be compared to our outside personality with different distinct beauties, and the inside we can have different talents, skills, and characters. Like if only when the lead comes out of casing, then only we can write on paper. Means a pencil will have an impact on a paper when it is comes out of casing. Similarly, unless what is in within us comes out, we will not be able to make an impact on our lives or on others' lives. So, you need to identify your talent and try the means of letting it out. Even the pencil have to go through the painful sharpening before the sharp lead comes out it and goes through a mender. Similarly, in life, unless we go through painful sharpening, the best things within us will never come out. As a saying, no pains, no gains. And a positive attitude is a key to success. So think positive and be positive. And I thank for your patience listening. I thank management and all the coordinators for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.